Today we're diving into the engines that still run after decades, proving their worth long after their production ceased. From roaring V8s to high-pitched rotaries, let's explore the vintage powerhouses that continue to defy time. Ready to get revved up? Let's start. First, the Ford Flathead V8, produced between the years 1932 and 1953. The engine that changed the game. It started with a roar in 1932, and the world never sounded the same again. This wasn't just any engine, it was a rebellion on wheels. The Ford Flathead V8 shattered expectations, delivering 8 cylinders of raw power to everyday drivers at a time when V8s were reserved for the elite. Affordable, bold, unapologetically loud. Ford's move wasn't just risky, it was revolutionary. With flat cylinder heads and a side valve layout, it looked simple, but under the hood, a game changer. It started with just 65 horsepower, but with the right tweaks, it could fly, literally. By the late 40s, some hot rodders were squeezing out over 200 horsepower. It became the heart of the hot rod movement. Stripped-down Fords, chrome stacks, flames on the hood. The Flathead wasn't just an engine, it was an identity. Even the military trusted it. This engine saw war, dirt, heat, cold, and it came back roaring every time. Today, it's still running wild, still rebuilt, still raced, still loved. But hold on, because the next engine, it powered planes, trucks, and it's still flying high. Second, the Ford Model A engine produced between the years 1927 and 1931. The 4-cylinder that refused to die. This engine powered more than just cars, it powered a generation. And guess what? It's still alive. When Ford ditched the Model T, people held their breath. Could the next one live up to the legend? The answer was the Model A, and at its heart was a beastly little 4-cylinder that surprised the world. Simple design, water-cooled, just 40 horsepower. But don't let that number fool you. This thing moved mountains. Literally. It hauled cargo, climbed hills, and even served in wars. It didn't purr, it chugged, and people loved it for that. But here's the shocker. A century later, this engine is still kicking, still firing, still running through small towns, barn finds, and airstrips. In fact, some folks have taken this engine sky high. Literally. It powers planes like the Pete and Pole air camper. Yep. An engine from 1927 in the sky today. And the best part, you can still fix it with basic tools. No computers, no nonsense. It's not a relic, it's a survivor. But hang on, because the next engine, it ran for 70 years straight and sounds like nothing else on Earth. Third, the Volkswagen air-cooled boxer engine, produced between the years 1936 and 2006. The engine that laughed at death. It didn't need water, it didn't need luxury, it just needed to breathe. This is the engine that refused to overheat, even in the desert. Introduced in the 1930s, this flat-4 engine powered everything from the humble Beetle to the iconic VW bus. Its design, unorthodox. Its sound, unforgettable. Its reliability, unmatched. No radiator, no coolant, no drama. This engine cooled itself with nothing but air and attitude. Road trippers adored it. Hippies praised it. Mechanics, they worshipped it. Because fixing one was like solving a puzzle you already knew the answer to. And here's where it gets wild. Even after production stopped in 2006, these engines are still buzzing across roads in Brazil, Mexico, and even remote European towns. People restore them, race them, and daily drive them like it's 1970. From sand dunes to snowy peaks, the air-cooled boxer didn't flinch. It just kept going. And the sound, that signature put, that's not just an exhaust note, it's a lifestyle. But hang tight, because up next we're meeting a V8 so iconic they named it after a cartoon mouse, and it's still flexing today. Fourth, the Chevrolet small block V8, produced between the years 1955 and 2003. The mouse that roared. Have you ever heard a V8 purr like a jungle cat, then scream like a jet? That's the small block Chevy, And yes, it was nicknamed the Mighty Mouse. Cute name, brutal performance. This engine burst onto the scene in 1955 with the Chevy Corvette and instantly rewrote the rules of American muscle. It was light, it was compact, and it was angry, with a deep growl that made drag strips shake and stoplights feel dangerous. The best part? It fits almost anything. Camaros, Chevelle, Novas. Heck, you could throw one into a lawnmower and win a race. Over the decades, it saw countless upgrades, but the soul stayed the same. Raw torque, big horsepower, total chaos. Even today, hot rodders and custom builders swear by it. Why? Because it's cheap to rebuild, easy to modify, and nearly impossible to kill. You'll find it under the hood of street sleepers, rat rods, restoration models, even jet boats. This thing refuses to retire, and just when you think that's wild, wait till you meet a British straight six that powered the sexiest car of the 60s and still turns heads today. Fifth, the Jaguar XK inline six, produced between the years 1949 and 1992. The engine behind the legend. What if I told you the world's most beautiful car wasn't just a pretty face, but had a beast hiding beneath? That beast? The Jaguar XK inline six. Born in post-war Britain, this engine didn't just power cars, it powered icons. From the legendary XK 120 to the unforgettable E-Type, this engine brought grace, power, and prestige all in one rev. Its secret? A silky smooth straight six design that was as reliable as it was fast. It ran cool, it revved high, and it sounded like pure class. Back in its prime, it dominated racing circuits, turned aristocrats into adrenaline junkies, and made British engineering cool again. It was a luxury that could kill you in second gear. Even today, you'll find this masterpiece roaring through vintage racetracks and resting proudly in collector garages. It's one of those engines that didn't just age well, it got better with time. But don't get too comfy, because next we're diving into one of the weirdest, wildest engines ever built. No pistons, no valves, just pure madness. Sixth, the Mazda Wanko rotary engine produced between the years 1967 and 2012. The rule breaker. Imagine an engine without pistons, no cylinders, no traditional motion, just pure rotary rebellion. Meet the Mazda Wanko rotary engine, the oddball that became a legend. While everyone else played it safe with inline and V-shaped engines, Mazda said, nah, let's spin things differently. This compact powerhouse debuted in the Cosmo Sport, then howled its way through the RX-7 and RX-8. It didn't just sound different, it felt different. It revved like a maniac and weighed next to nothing. Sure, it drank fuel like a thirsty dragon. And yes, it sometimes needed more oil than your kitchen pantry. But the thrill, unmatched. Rotary fans will tell you, it's not just an engine, it's an experience. That screaming red line, that compact shape, that insane power-to-weight ratio. It's a cult classic for a reason. Even today, Wankos are popping up in drift cars, track monsters, and DIY builds. Mazda may have paused production, but this rotary rocket refuses to die. Next, we go back to the 1920s, to a monster of an engine with a blower, British racing glory, and a growl that scared Mercedes. Ready for the blower Bentley? Seventh, the Bentley 4.5-liter, supercharged, known as blower Bentley, produced between the years 1927 and 1931. The British beast. It wasn't elegant, it wasn't quiet, it was brutal, loud, unapologetic, and it rewrote the rules of racing before most cars even had windshields. The blower Bentley came from a time when raw power was king. Its 4.5-liter inline-4 engine wasn't enough, so they slapped on a massive supercharger outside the engine bay. Visible, aggressive. It made a statement before it even started. With over 230 horsepower, it thundered down Le Mans straights, blowing past competition with sheer force. Sir Tim Birkin pushed this machine to its limits, and in doing so, cemented its legacy. Even W.O. Bentley wasn't convinced at first, until the wind started rolling in. It wasn't about comfort or luxury. This engine was built for war on wheels. Today, only a few originals survive, each one a piece of rolling history. And Bentley? They brought it back with a continuation series, crafted part by part, just like the originals. No modern filters, just pure supercharged grit. Coming up, the V8 that kept its cool under pressure and earned a loyal fan base that's still going strong. Eighth, the AMC 304 V8, produced between the years 1970 and 1981. The underdog engine. The underdog. It wasn't the loudest, it wasn't the flashiest, but it sure knew how to get the job done. The AMC 304 V8 was a quiet contender that worked harder than most engines of its time, used in everything from the Javelin SST to the Matador. This engine wasn't about winning races, it was about reliability and raw performance. Built for American Motors Corporation, it served the daily driver, the weekend warrior, and even the performance enthusiasts. The 304 V8 offered around 150 horsepower, which wasn't much by today's standards. But in the 70s, that was solid. It had a straightforward design, no bells and whistles, but it got you where you needed to go, whether that was across the city or down a quarter-mile drag strip. It wasn't about chasing speed, it was about longevity. Fast forward to today, and the AMC 304 is still running in the hands of dedicated owners like Jim Boscarino. His 1972 Javelin SST has been running strong for decades. For the AMC faithful, this engine isn't just about horsepower, it's about the story. The ride, the history, still operational, still relevant, still reliable. This engine didn't need to scream for attention. It earned its place in history quietly but powerfully. A V12 that still roars from Ferrari's golden era. Find out how the Columbbo V12 still fuels the dreams of classic car enthusiasts. Ninth, the Ferrari Columbbo V12, produced between the years 1947 and 1988. The heart of legends. What makes a legend? It's not just the car, it's not just the brand, it's the engine. And the Ferrari Columbbo V12? It's pure Italian soul. Designed by Gioacchino Colombo, the V12 engine powered some of Ferrari's most iconic machines, including the Ferrari 125S, the brand's first ever car to sport a V12. This engine wasn't just about power, it was about precision, craftsmanship, and beauty. Every cylinder, every component, every detail was crafted to perfection. With an initial capacity of 1.5 liter and reaching up to 4.4 liter in later models, the Columbbo V12 produced a sound that sent chills down your spine. The smooth hum at idle, the growl as it roared to life. It wasn't just an engine, it was a symphony. Even decades later, this engine is revered for its endurance. It powered the likes of the Ferrari 250 GT and Ferrari 365 GTB for Daytona, cars that are still in high demand in the classic car market today. Collectors and enthusiasts cherish these machines, not only for their beauty, but for the pure, unadulterated thrill they provide. But here's the kicker. Ferrari didn't just stop with these models. The Columbbo V12 remained at the core of Ferrari's racing pedigree for decades, evolving with technology, but always maintaining that original soul. Every Ferrari built during the golden years carries a part of the Columbbo legacy. Today, the Columbbo V12 continues to fuel the dreams of car lovers worldwide. Many classic Ferrari models still roar thanks to this engine. And for those who own one, they're not just driving a car, they're driving history. The Chrysler Hemi V8, a monstrous engine that's still turning heads in restorations and hot rods. 10th, the Chrysler Hemi V8, produced between the years 1951 and 1958. The engine that shook the streets, the Hemi. One name, countless legends. But what makes it so special? It's not just a V8, it's the V8. From its hemispherical combustion chambers to its raw power, the Chrysler Hemi V8 changed the game. Let's go back to 1951. Chrysler, aiming to build a car that could dominate both the streets and the tracks, unleashed the Hemi V8. Its signature hemispherical design wasn't just for show. It was engineered to produce higher compression and better airflow, resulting in more power and improved efficiency. This wasn't just an engine, it was a force of nature. With up to 180 horsepower, it could send a car flying down the road like it was built for speed alone. In fact, it's rumored that the Hemi made such an impact on the street racing scene that competitors were left shaking in their boots. But the Hemi didn't stop there. It didn't just rule the streets, it ruled the racetracks too. Throughout the 1950s, Chrysler made sure that their Hemi V8 was at the heart of their performance vehicles. From the Chrysler 300 to the Dodge Coronet, these cars became known for their aggressive stance and that unmistakable Hemi growl. By the time Chrysler ceased production in the late 1950s, the Hemi had already cemented its status as one of the most legendary engines of all time. But here's the twist. It didn't fade into history. In the 1960s, Chrysler revived the Hemi for muscle cars, like the Dodge Charger and Plymouth Barracuda. And guess what? It's still alive today in modern Hemi-powered muscle cars. Even now, the Hemi V8 is a racing icon and a symbol of pure power. It's no wonder car enthusiasts still chase it, restoring vintage models to their former glory. If you're lucky enough to hear a Hemi roar, you'll know. This is more than just an engine. It's a legacy in motion. Final words. These vintage engines are more than just mechanical marvels. They're legends that continue to shape the automotive world. Which engine do you think has stood the test of time the best? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button. Stay tuned for more epic car content right here on Car Cruiser.